The Colonial Pipeline attack might be good for everyone. And what I mean by this is the attack may turn out to be more beneficial than detrimental if we take it as a wake-up call for action. This cyber attack could very well be a good thing for America. Now, let me be the first to say that all cyber attacks are unfortunate, but sometimes an incident can bring important visibility to a much larger issue that has been neglected and where significant risks exist to affect change for the better for the greater community. Now, the Colonial Pipeline Company, which operates a very large fuel distribution network, was the victim of a cybercriminal ransomware attack. The pipeline, which services much of the U.S. East Coast, was recently impacted by the cyber attack, which shut down the major fuel pipeline, impacting millions of customers on the eastern seaboard. Now, the company struggled quickly to try and recover. Law enforcement became involved, and even the President of the United States gave public updates to the recovery plans. So, let's keep a few things in mind when processing this entire event. First off, the risks are not new. Cybersecurity professionals have been ringing this bell for 15 years, warning that the critical infrastructure sectors of the United States are at significant risk. So please don't let any of this critical infrastructure attacks, any of them, be a surprise. Industry and governments have been duly warned over the years multiple times. And some of the areas, the energy sector, for example, has actually made great strides to bolster their cyber defenses over the years. Other sectors, not so much. The second thing is, although the Colonial Pipeline hack is getting a great deal of media attention, the type of attacker responsible for this compromise is not even the most concerning. Colonial was attacked by cybercriminals using ransomware as a service technology that's basically available to the masses. Whereas the greater threat to national critical infrastructures has always been adversarial nation states that would seek the ability to cause disastrous long-term impacts. They have tremendous resources and the ability to either craft or obtain very specialized and professional grade exploit capabilities. If a nation state was attacking with the intention of creating serious harm, this event would have been much more severe and long-lasting. So, as unfortunate as such a cyber attack is, and the subsequent panic that it spawned with customers beginning to hoard fuel that, well, in turn exacerbated the shortage, it really targeted a sector that possesses an embedded ability to flex when disruptions occur. The fuel supply infrastructure of the United States is designed to absorb a certain level of unavailability. Consider when a big storm approaches. They tend to shut down the refineries and distribution networks, the local, regional, the pumps, the customer storage, all of that picks up the slack until the services are restored. So the industry, this industry in particular, is better prepared to absorb some level of disruption, much more than most of the other critical infrastructures. Conversely, when we were looking at healthcare, or if we look at energy, communications, transportation sectors as examples, unavailability creates almost an immediate consequence. Their ability to absorb downtime is much less tolerant to their downstream customers. So this attack, well, it caused fear, but not really did it manifest any significant long-term damage. We were kind of lucky. The comprehensive news coverage has brought both ransomware and the cybersecurity of the U.S. critical infrastructure into the public limelight. Even the aftermath news cycles continue to cover the story, highlighting the great questions being asked about the risks to the nation. Now, government officials and politicians, they're weighing in. And this is all good as fuel distribution, just like, the other critical infrastructure sectors. It's important, and there are severe cybersecurity risks that need to be addressed. This event has highlighted the common problem that all critical infrastructures are in fact vulnerable to cyber attacks and need appropriate levels of cybersecurity. Additionally, it's showcasing one particular type of online criminal activity that has just blossomed in the past few years, and that's ransomware. I mean, ransomware it's a growing scourge, and it's simply adding more security won't be effective or economically sustainable when it comes to ransomware. So, this incident has brought to light a whole bunch of different aspects that we in the industry have been talking about and need the public and the government and critical infrastructures to start taking a more critical look at. This really has been a good wake-up call for many in this sector and for many others, right? In the other sectors. In this case, a few days of downtime, well, it was pretty acceptable. I mean, there was some craziness going on and people hoarding gas and doing all sorts of things. But the same type of attack would be disastrous for the national electric grids or regional healthcare, defense, food distribution, telecommunications, or if it took out the internet. Oh no, right? People would panic in an instant. So let's take this lesson and learn from it. A comprehensive plan is needed that services and serves each sector's needs. A blanket solution, one size fits all, although it sounds really good, would likely introduce unneeded friction for the customers, unnecessary increases to the cost of services, and detract from the required agility that each of these sectors needs to keep pace with their attackers. Instead, it's time that a collective of thought-leading cybersecurity professionals be assembled to work with regulators, with politicians, and the industry standards bodies to recommend effective, comprehensive, and sustainable set of plans. This attack, as a catalyst for change, may actually bring the needed momentum to move work forward across all of the critical infrastructures to keep them better protected from the rapidly evolving cyber threats.